Well, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Streamline podcast. Sorry I haven't been able to put out videos like I've been wanting to, just work. But anyway, since we're on the topic of work and everything, let's go ahead and put some work into this video. In the 18th episode of the Streamline podcast, we're going to be talking about, older video games that definitely deserve a remake. I say remake, not reboot. Totally different things. But I want to see these games have a remake. And I'm not talking about an HD remake where you just make it look better. I'm talking about a remake to where, okay, yes, it follows everything from the other games. It looks better, more updated. The graphics more updated. And it also introduces not only new modes, but also new new collectibles and content, basically. So without further ado, I guess I'll go ahead and jump on this gravy train. First on the list, I want to say Jet Set Radio Future. It is a great game still to this day. I believe at this point, since we are now exploring more of these open world video games, that Jet Set Radio Future definitely deserves to come back and also be an open world video game. Not only should the graphics need to be on point, but at this point, there's no excuse why we shouldn't have a Jet Set Radio Future open world game. Remake that, the second one. I went and bought the first one. It was okay, but it felt very limited because you couldn't really run around and do things. Jet Set Radio Future had a decent sectional open world, but I believe they can bring it back with a much bigger open world game, especially with games like Arkham City. What's the one with the super soldiers? I can't remember it now. But like, with Saints Row, with GTA, games like that. There's no reason at this point we shouldn't have like an open world game in that way. Even like Infamous or Prototype, definitely great examples of open world games. I've already done a video on this game, Ocarina of Time. I think they need to not only HD it up, make the map a bit more expansive, introduce a lot of hidden content and additional content, introduce a lot of great modes, maybe even like training mode or something like that, or a combat mode, like a combat arena, which I think that'd be like a combat arena for like the Gerudo Valley. I think that'd be freaking awesome to do. There's a lot that they could do with this, especially with a game like this where the ending, it does, once you get to the ending, you just, it doesn't keep going. Actually, I would like to also see a little bit more done, a hell of a lot more done with the other supporting characters. I want to see more of their stories. I want to see a bit more of backstory on the whole take of Hyrule. So Ocarina of Time definitely deserves its remake. Yes, they do have an HD remake, but I mean like an actual good remake. State of Emergency, at the time it was like a Saints Row / GTA ripoff, but I think if they do it right, they can actually bring this game to the forefront as its own standalone game, and I think it'll be great. It had a great premise, and I like the open world sections of it, but it did feel very limited because of those open world sections. That it felt like, a story. There was a whole bunch of stories in it that could have been explored, but that weren't explored. And I think that it was very, like I said, it was a great step in a new direction for like open world games such as that. But it was too bad we couldn't actually explore the game franchise like that. So if they do a remake, State of Emergency, do that. Super Mario 64. It's an all-time classic. Definitely have changed the game when it came to video games. But I think they could do a bit more and just bring that back. Mainly, I guess you could say for the HD and maybe not more expensive environments, but more to do, not just to find the stars, maybe unlock costumes, maybe have multiple characters, be able to play as multiple characters, Toad, Yoshi, Luigi, even the princess, Rosa, what's the one from Mario Galaxy, well, those type of characters. I think that'll be awesome to, and then they each have their own different abilities. I think that'll be freaking awesome. New sections hidden sections revealed in the area maps. I think that would be a great idea. Bigger, not bigger boss battles, but more boss battles, more hidden content, maybe alluding to other video games. I think that would be also a great thing as far as a remake is concerned. One of my personal favorites from back in the day, Buck Bumble, where you get to play this bee that's flying around shooting stuff. I think they should definitely remake this game, especially considering the way you get to fly around and how the mobility and how the mechanics are decent. But the mechanics were decent for its time, and I will give it that 2 thumbs up for that. But if they remade it now, think of how awesome it would be to be able to just fly around, utilize all these different weapons, fighting all these different plants and bugs and stuff like this in its expansive world where you're just this bumblebee, you know. So and also it'd be pretty cool to have a story and have some like characters and stuff like that stand out too. Another game, F-Zero-X, bring that freaking game back because it was awesome back in the day. I don't know what the most recent incarnation of it is, but if they're going to remake a game, F-Zero-X, bring this one back. It'll be a great game, fast paced, give us some unlockables, new stages, more challenges. Be a great game, and it's one of those games like you can play it locally, and I want to see that. I want to see a local game just be awesome again. Sonic Fighters. Now, when I played this game, it was all right, and I could see potential behind it because you have Sonic has a vast character roster, and I would like to see an actual cool Sonic fighting game because you have so many characters with so many different personalities, so many different abilities, and I think it'd be awesome to actually have these characters have their own little fighting game, provided that the fighting game actually, you know, has good mechanics, has a good development, you know what I'm saying, has great backgrounds and stuff like that. I think that'll be also an interesting thing to have when it comes to a fighting game with Sonic the Hedgehog characters. I mean, come on, who wouldn't want to see Sonic fight Knuckles, or Sonic fight Tails, or Shadow Sonic fight Knuckles, or Metal Sonic, you know, fight, what's that, I can't remember that. I always forget that guy's name. The alligator guy, I can't remember his name. Or what was the one hedgehog that was psychic? Or, you know what I mean? What was what's the girl name that's the bat? You know what I'm saying? Or Amy versus the chick, the bat chick. You know what I'm saying? There is a lot that they could do with this, and I hope they do think about bringing that back. 2 GTA games I would like to see remade, of course, are Vice City and San Andreas. Both great games in their own right. The only problem that they suffer from is the graphics. The graphics look like crap, especially Vice City. If you have them beefed up, it's an extremely bright and luminous and just a very vibrant looking game. But if they could come back and I would say like HD that stuff up and probably introduce some more side stories a bit, and maybe on the San Andreas side shrink the map just a little bit. So that way you can put more content in, because as far as exploration, there was a lot of exploration. It was just a little bit too much exploration at times. I personally would like to see A Link to the Past do a remake as well, in the way that they've done Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, and Breath of the Wild. I think that'll be a new step for new generation of kids and gamers to take. And I think if they should do one, it would be that, because that one is one of the most iconic video games in terms of The Legend of Zelda, as well as Nintendo, and possibly of like actual video games. So I would like to see that world painted in A Link to the Past and brought into like the more 3D-ish setting, and I think that'd be also pretty cool too. And like all Legend of Zelda games, which I always complain about, is the lack of voice performances. Put the freaking voice performances in them damn games. I would like to see them remake The Thing. The movie was awesome. The sequel sucked. My brother had the original Thing game, really loved it, and it was a great suspenseful and tension-filled game with atmosphere, because you were these people and you're stuck in this isolated location and you can't tell who is the Thing, who's been infected, who's been replaced, or anything like that. Just tension rises and paranoia, and I would love for them to come back and redo that. HD it up a little bit, put a bit more content into it, and that'll be a great game. another great game, especially when it comes to like local and online. I would like to see. Well, I mentioned two actually: X-Men Legends and Ultimate Alliance. Now they did re-release Ultimate Alliance, and all it was beat up the graphics a little bit, but they didn't add too much into it. Lazy fuckers. But anyways, not only do they both need to have like HD up, like totally HD, like cinematics and everything, but they need new content, new characters, new costumes, new modes, new like areas to explore. And I personally, which is why I do like X-Men Legends a little bit more, is because you get the option to pick where you want to go at certain times, and I like that. And I wish Ultimate Alliance would have did that instead of just being like one straight line. But I want to see that. I want to see them have that ability to do that with both of these games. Another game, everybody loves it, is Turok. Definitely needs to bring that back. They had the weapons, they had the open world sessions, they had the awesome fights, but the only thing they need now is to HD that up. They need to remake that game, because I would totally buy it. I didn't mind the one that they had for the Xbox 360. I thought it was pretty cool, actually. Hard as hell, but I want to see them bring back Turok. Turok Rage Wars, great local game for people that like to just go at it, a tournament style game or arena style game. And if they did remake that game, they could bring that game online. You think I'm not the type of person to be like, okay, games have to be online or anything, but I could see the potential for Turok Rage Wars as an online game. And Rage Wars awesome, especially when you're like, it's 4 people, you got one bot, enemy bot, then you have 2 raptors, and you got yourself and you're hunting this jackass down. So I love Turok Rage Wars. They definitely need to bring that game back and make it even more characters, more bigger teams, bigger levels. Awesome game that they could bring out onto the online community if they wanted to, and I would actually support it as long as they put local on it too, because I'm tired of just games be just online, because I don't have friends like that. But another game everybody's probably played this in school is Oregon. I'm about to say Oregon Trail. I would like to see Oregon Trail be have a remake too, because it was a great like strategy type game, and I think that they could do something with that now, especially with the way real good strategy games are nowadays. So Oregon Trail, I think, would be an interesting game if they could remake it, put in a whole new, put in more elements to help them aid the players, as well as elements to hurt the players, enemies, animals, wildlife. You know what I'm saying? Yes, they had. I think they had starvation. I think your animals could break a leg. You could lose a wagon. People died in the game. But I think they should do that with Oregon Trail, and probably even have have like branching paths you can take, each one with their own danger. So Oregon Trail would be a pretty good remake. I think they also should remake Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. And yes, they did do it with the Fire Red and the Leaf Green and everything. But I mean, actual not HD, actual remake. One of my biggest problems with the Pokemon games up to about Emerald, it was the fact they all lacked any kind of story. Yes, Emerald had a bit of a story, but it wasn't like a story. I think that Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow should have stories, like a main story, not just you trying to be a Pokemon trainer, maybe a character trying to find their father and have to deal with Team Rocket as well as other things, have multiple side stories where the characters, and now they got with the new team battle system, and you can have multiple Pokemon on the field. There's no reason you can't bring that back out. Give us memorable characters, because there are absolutely no memorable characters in like the first 6 games. So we need to definitely bring that back out. Definitely do that with Blue and Yellow. Expand upon the map. Introduce new areas. Do like what they did with Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Allow you to go to another island. And that's one thing I loved about those games that made them some of my favorite, is because you not only had Johto, but you had Kanto too. So do that with the Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow if you're going to do that. Battletoads and Battletoads Double Dragon and Double Dragon. Great beat 'em up game. Streets of Rage makes it on this list too. Definitely need to bring those games back with more better HD remakes. I think Streets of Rage did have some type of a remake or a sequel or something in the last couple of years. I'm not sure, but I'm just talking about like Streets of Rage, back old school Streets of Rage, for the sake of talking about old school Streets of Rage. So I would like to see that game be brought back. With those games be brought back, perhaps with multiple costumes, a lot more content, more levels, harder difficulties, just a bit more to help flesh this game out, or these games out. Because Battletoads Double Dragon was a freaking awesome game. Back in the day, local co-op, me, my brother, sister, just jumped on the games. Yes, I wouldn't mind them doing an online mode, but, you know what I'm saying, some of us, again, don't be online like that. You know what I mean? Make it local. I would love to have the co-op both locally and online. And I think that's the balance right there that they should have for games like this. So yes, straight up beat 'em ups and stuff. Bam, that should be the game. Of course, everybody's been waiting on this. Final Fantasy VII. Yes, and this is how I feel about it. Yes, they're doing this complete overhaul remake for the game, but personally, what I felt like they should have did an HD remake first, then came back and did a sequel, a second remake where they did everything. That way, not only did you satisfy the people that wanted the original game, but you can also reintroduce the game again for the newer generations with a new play style. So there's, you know what I'm saying, Final Fantasy VII, and I made videos, and hundreds of people made videos about this damn game, but definitely needs to be, they need to hurry up and get the remake out, since they need to stop playing. Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast 2, I think they should definitely remake. It was a great game, great story, love the mechanics, especially now that they've done Force Unleashed and Force Unleashed 2 HD. Not only just HD it up, but bring in a whole bunch of new elements with the Jedi Outcast 2 game. Great story. It had great mechanics for its time. Put some more RPG elements into it, perhaps with the saber combat and the force abilities. And bring in some new modes, like maybe a racing mode, maybe a combat mode, maybe challenge modes, time modes. You know what I'm saying? Give us a bit of time so we can actually explore the environments, because they did have some pretty big environments. But Jedi Outcast 2 definitely deserves a remake as well. Alter the Beast. Now they did bring them. They have brought them to the newer systems, and it's like collection packs and stuff like that. But I think they should either do HD remake on the game if they haven't already done it, or go ahead and bump it up to 3D at this point. I guess they're gonna if they make it a 3D is probably gonna be a beat 'em up. Fine, I have no problem with that. Make sure that the game has plenty of content, plenty of exploration, plenty of like great voice performances, and a great story. Altered Beast was a great game, and then I hadn't played it for the story, but it was mostly the gameplay. But I would like to see Altered Beast be fine-tuned a little bit more with a great story and more emphasis on the characters, because I want to know who these characters are, what their stake is in this story and in this world. Sonic R, I liked the game back in the day, and I still think that it has potential for actual for the audience to gravitate towards it, because like Sonic Fighters, yes, you have all of these different Sonic characters with different abilities, and it would be nice to have see them race. Now, whether this is 3D or 2D, I'm not sure. I personally would like to see a blend of the two. At some points it could be 3D, some points it could be 2D. But I think Sonic R has the potential. It just takes a great mind, a great developer with a great vision. And I said it all backwards. A great developer with a great mind, with a great vision to make that game crisp. One game I definitely want to see is freaking Vector Man. They need to bring back Vector Man. That game, those two games were awesome. I would love to see them bring those games back with an open world aspect to it and a great story. To me, Vector Man is was like the Master Chief back in the day. You know what I mean? Vector Man was awesome. He had great abilities, a great story, great gameplay. I'm not gonna say a story, but it was great gameplay, and I would like to see them bring that back. Another great game that I think that they should remake entirely, Soul Reaver. Yes, it's a classic, but bring that game back, make it open world, bring back those great voice performances from back in the day, fine tune the combat system a little bit. And I think they should add like a targeting system, give us a lot more backstory and hidden content when it comes to the characters and what's going on in the world. Soul Reaver would be an awesome game. I would fully support them bringing that back, remaking that game. They just gotta care. They have to freaking care. Another game, one of my personal favorite RPG games, Shining Force. Yes, they had it's a classic in my eyes as far as RPGs go. But I like to see it as like a 3D open world. Something in the vein of like Skyrim / Dragon Age, which is more Dragon Age-ish. Possibly having more like I can't remember the freaking game my girl was playing up in there. I don't remember, but I don't mind it being like a turn-based where you have to go to different squares and stuff like that. But I would like to see that as an open world RPG game. It seemed like it'd be a great idea, especially the way Dragon Age is so successful, and in other games like Two Worlds and stuff like that. Definitely would like to see that done really well. Do Shining Force, bring that to just expand on that. There's a lot of, I promise you, there's a lot of people that would gravitate toward that game. And I guess, lastly, on my list of like 100 things that I just ran through, but I'll probably go back to them. Maximum Carnage. Would love to see them bring that game to open world Manhattan where Spider-Man and Venom have to team up against Carnage. Yes, you had, Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man where you could play as Venom and Spider-Man. I still like I did like the game. Yes, you did have the Web of Shadows where you Spider-Man having to fight all these symbiotes based off Venom. But I would like to see these two characters. Great story, great characters. Have to fight Carnage, and you know what I mean, in his little whatever the hell it spawn and stuff like that. Maybe even be able to play as Toxin. And of course costumes, characters. I would like to actually have team ups with other characters like they did in Web of Shadows. But as far as these like just some random games that I've not just random but games that I have played and want to see remade. All right then, guys, in the comment section below, let me know what games do you want to see an actual remake to, and let me know if you did like any of the ideas that I threw out for the games, or even any of the games that I had said that should I believe should have a remake. Be sure to hit us up on Tuesdays and Thursdays because we will be uploading the videos, whether it be Breaking the Base, movie reviews, top 10 lists, just general news or topics, or even more of the Streamline podcast. Be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe, and that notification button to get the best of what's going on here on the Narik channel. And I will catch you guys later. Peace out.